So you may be wondering what I'm doing with a canoe paddle around my neck in place of a guitar, but this is actually a travel guitar. It is the Donner Hush Eye guitar, and you may have seen a bunch of reviews on this online and may have been wondering how good this guitar actually is. It's kind of expensive. It's a few $100 unit. Out of the box, it is an outstanding canoe paddle, and in fact many folks looking at comments from other reviewers have pointed out that the action is so high they couldn't play it. Under those circumstances, I guarantee it's an excellent canoe paddle. But the reality is this is an incredibly well-designed instrument. That is to say, it's a great guitar. You just got to fix a couple little errors of production. I kind of see this guitar as being a bunch of 2x4s that got slapped together and carved to a really good shape, and then handed to somebody who played the accordion to do all the finish work. The bridge is way too high out of the box. Somehow they picked all the wrong strings to put on it and then shipped it out. So a wonderful idea got turned into just a strange contraption. If you just do a little bit of work, this is an amazing guitar. And I mean just a little bit. If you take the crappy strings off it came with, because you're not going to love them anyway, the bridge just slides right out, and you need to knock like 2 millimeters off the height of that bridge. It is that far off. Interestingly enough, at the nut end, it's also loose. That'll fall out in your hand as well. You might want to take that down. I didn't, but I can see a lot of extra action height there, so I'm not perfectly thrilled with it, but it'll evolve. Why did I get this thing? I hate going to things like open mics and carrying a full guitar. It just drives me nuts. I'm going to be plugging in electronically anyway. This is a piezo-driven guitar. You're going to plug it in. You're going to be governed by whatever electronics they have. And in general, this thing sounds pretty good. Now, this guitar, when I got it, I pulled the bridge on it, I swapped the strings, put it back together again. I actually put in a set of 9s. These are electric guitar strings, not acoustic strings. And I think it's a very good swap. You should try it if you have one of these and see how it works. I don't think the acoustic strings are a good choice for it. And I'll let you hear it just a little bit. Now, right now I've got this guitar going through my Boss GX100, and it's emulating a JC Clean patch pattern. So let's just play a few chords and see how it sounds. Not terrible. You say, well, that was down in the cowboy area. What's it like elsewhere? Same chords. Kind of blew that. Not terrible. Of course, this is being heavily influenced by the choice of the patch I put in. If I kick off the Boss and I just go to my orange, I think this is a dirty channel. It is a dirty channel. Do the same thing again. Okay, so it works fine. Same idea for bar chords. Doesn't sound too bad at all. And so, sorry for flubbing a few things. I've switched to another pick. This is a Tortex shark fin pick. I don't know if the system will pick it up very well, but it's a very fun pick and just taking a little bit of time to get used to it. One thing I will say about this guitar, again, this accordionist who put it together, realize you will need to have something to support the weight of the guitar, but cleverly put the strap pins in silly places. And again, they tried to duplicate other guitars that have the electric jack and the strap together. I'm going to put 2 new pins on for this because there's a lot of neck dive in it, and it's really just some bad placement. In fact, the placement of the one pin is so high up here that you're constantly losing the strap. The system comes with a nice little bit of an EQ on it, a little volume control, a little phase. You can use some mic stuff. One of the neat things about going to the 9 strings that I did, 9 gauge strings, is you normally have to use an Allen key in the tuning pegs in order to make this thing work. But once you go to the lighter strings, you can actually control this thing by hand, and you don't really need the Allen key for anything but the tightest moment. So I've been really happy going to the 9 gauge electric guitar strings, and I think this guitar sounds pretty good. I'm not going to complain much about now how it plays. It sounds to me quite good. You can even get up into the 12th fret area and make a nice bar chord now. But it really did require me to pull a lot of meat off of this saddle. I say about 2 millimeters. It was standing very, very high. I think one day I will get some different nut and bridge pieces and finesse down where I really want things. But for the sake of a little bit of rubbing on a file and the swapping of a pair of strings, I think I've got a pretty usable guitar, one that I would be happy carrying around to some open mics and trying out some different things. So if you need to get yourself a good travel guitar that can duplicate the role of a canoe oar, this is definitely the right shape for you. And when you get to your destination, if you dry it off, there's a good chance you'll be able to actually use it to make a little bit of music. So just as a disclaimer, Donner paid me nothing for this, nor did Tortex or anyone else. So this is just how I'm using this guitar, what I think it can do for me. And I'd kind of say if you're looking for this same sort of an idea, this might just work for you as well. Have a good one.